Tuesday.
Okay. All right. I'm calling to order the ZBA meeting of June 11th. Roll call: Jude Salato.
Joe Bellick. Howard Harris.
Greg Goodfriend.
We have a quorum. Does anybody have any changes or additions to the meeting agenda?
No.
No? Okay, so I think we're just going to move ahead.
Great.
I'm going to move to open a public hearing for case ZBA 26, 05, application of Aaron Yassin, Glasgow Ridge LLC, for property section 2.72, block 2, lot 6, lot 120. It's new. Then we have the lot numbers on it. Located at Glasgow Turnpike, Woodstock, New York, 12498. 5.19 acre parcel located within an R3 zoning district for a variance from the zoning law of the town of Woodstock, Article 4, Schedule of Area and Bulk Regulations, 260 Attachment 2, Section 03, to create an undersized lot in an R3 zoning district in order to subdivide a 5.19 acre lot into a 3-acre lot and a 2.19 acre lot. So I know some of you, I wasn't here at the last public hearing, I was sick, but I did watch the video, and so I was kind of up to speed. I guess, Mr. Yassin, if you have any opening statements or anything, or if you just want to comment after other people comment, if you want to come up here, you're welcome to, whatever you're comfortable doing.
Did you have any questions since you weren't here?
No. Yes, I'm good.
Okay, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. You want to stay there? Do you want to come up? Whatever you're comfortable with, we're good.
Okay, well, I'll come up when there's an appropriate moment.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so do you want to read the contiguous neighbors?
Again, I apologize if I butcher anybody's name. Margot Molnar, 1848 Glasgow Turnpike in Woodstock. Andrew Shearer and Adina at 1840 Glasgow Turnpike in Woodstock. Gerald oh my God, I'm so sorry. Jakovic and Danielle Mazalewski, 169 East 91st Street, apartment 11C in New York, New York. Joseph Tuchin, 1819 Glasgow Turnpike, and Daniel Rubenstein, 1835 Glasgow Turnpike.
And just to clarify, this is for new, non-repetitive.
Yes, if you have something new to offer that you didn't state at the last public hearing, you're welcome to do that. Does anybody have anything they wanted to add to what they said at the last public hearing? Because this is a continuation, it's not, yeah. If you, yes? Can you state your name first, please?
Yes, Avis Tuchin.
Okay, hi.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to double check if you all made your inquiries to the Woodstock Fire Department on the question that I brought up a month ago about the proper size of the roadway that they want to build. There was a mention of what it says in the
That, right, so we got a report from the Ulster County Planning Board, which I will read later, but that was not about the fire department. I guess we could just talk about this now. The county reviews applications. In this case, I'll read what they said. It's about the road. It said the applicant proposes a 0.8 acre variance from the town's R3 minimum lot area requirement for the purpose of subdividing existing lot to construct 2 single-family homes. The proposal is located off Glasgow Turnpike, a county route. And so they had a recommendation, and they said, while typically a 2-lot subdivision and a minimum lot size variance to a large lot are considered to be no county impact, so normally they would just send us a report that says no county impact. They decided to add a comment, which is the Ulster County Planning Board notes that this section of Glasgow Turnpike has limited site distance, features steep slopes on the north side of the road, and a road geometry that has a history of accidents due to high-speed driving. Access to the county route requires the approval of the Ulster County Highway and Bridges and will require approval from that department should the variance be granted. For more details on that requirement, on those requirements, see the attached use, which is just a link to the requirements for the highways. So they did comment on that section of road.
That wasn't my question.
I know you said the fire department. Did you guys remember a
Yes,
comment about? I don't.
Yes, there was a comment, I made a comment and they said they were gonna check whether the road was, because of the the width of the, there would be, this is all a question of 2 homes being built.
Right.
Correct.
So the 2 homes will have to have a roadway to be, so that from Glasgow Turnpike to reach these homes.
Correct.
And so we were wondering, since if the roadway isn't wide enough to meet the specs of the Woodstock Fire Department, not county.
Correct.
So that my comment was that the lots, if they had to widen the road to meet the proper
To
specs,
get the,
then the lot size
to
would
get
be even
this zero.
smaller.
I see.
So that's
The
what
drive-
they,
the drive-
I heard them say, they were gonna.
Okay.
Howard Harris has some information about this.
Well, actually, just let me answer first, please. So what would happen is if we were to approve this variance, it would go to the planning board, and the planning board has specifications as to how wide a driveway has to be, and, if there's turning radiuses, that's all in the subdivision regulations, and that isn't something we would address. If somebody puts in a driveway, that's considered part of their property, so it doesn't reduce the size of the lot. Did you have something further?
No, that's pretty much exactly it. right?
Okay.
No, it just wasn't explained that way.
Okay, yes,
Thank you.
Could I
Yes.
make a comment?
sure, your name, please.
Danny Rubenstein.
Hi.
I just wanted to clarify that I had concerns which were articulated by the county,
Okay,
and my concerns were the driveway cut, the location of the driveway cut,
Mhm.
whether or not the variance was granted. So
Right.
even if the variance is not granted, I believe there's still a problem, and it should be addressed by some organization.
right, so that is not under our purview, that would be the county. And I can't answer that question, but generally, when somebody owns a piece of property, they have an as of right access. I think they would be, the county would be hard pressed to say you can't access your property. I don't know what they would require in terms of an access, and I don't know how much leeway there is. I haven't been out to the site yet to see if there's different places that driveway can go, but that would be the county highway department that would make that determination.
Okay,
Okay?
may I ask one other question?
Sure, of course.
I once had a circular driveway,
Yes,
which the county required me to close down.
I've seen a couple of those.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those
And
on Glasgow.
the area that was closed down is directly across the street from the proposed curb cut.
Right, gotcha.
And at the Ulster County meeting, one of the representatives made the comment that when the highway department looks at the situation,
Mhm.
they should also look at whether or not I may get my circular driveway back at the same time.
Right.
And the attorney, I believe it was the attorney who was at the meeting,
Mhm.
said, no, that's sort of out of the scope of what we're doing. So my question is, I would like my curb cut to be revisited. What is the process that I need to go through?
You gotta go to the highway department.
That would be the county, Ulster County, it would be the Ulster County, because Glasgow Turnpike is a county road. It's not a Woodstock road. So it would be the Ulster County Highway Department.
So I would contact them.
You would contact them.
Okay.
Yes. Anybody else have anything? Yes.
I do, pertaining to the same discussion about
Okay.
the driveway part.
Mhm.
When I look at the plans, I live in the house that the driveway would be next to.
Right.
And my understanding is, and I believe this is probably what you're gonna say, is this would be the planning board that would make this determination, but I think it's pertinent to the issue of the size of the lots and the zoning of the lots, that it's, the way that looks on the drawing is that it doesn't seem to include the required buffering between one property to the next, that the road is inside of that buffer, so that they're proposing. And our property was a grandfathered 1 acre property, so that takes the buffering of us to have any space around a buffer as it should be away, so that they can put a road in to a property to build 2 houses that's not zoned for that. So I'm just thinking about that. I just wanted to state that.
Right, I understand. You know, I would imagine this would go to the building department at some point if they have specifications for a driveway and they're not giving that setback, whatever it is, if it's 5 feet, 10 feet, whatever it is, they would have to come back for a variance for that, even if it's one house. So you know, there's still some things that are up in the air, and does that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay,
And
there are required setbacks for driveways. You can't be right on somebody's property line with a driveway.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Do
I
you
mean,
want?
I can comment on that too.
Sure, do you want to come up?
About which part? Because all the stuff that's coming up about the circular driveway and it has nothing to do with us.
Yes, yeah.
So you don't need to address it if it's just about that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but all that is just basically planning, and then our plans would conform to the requirements, and obviously this plan approval. And
Right,
yes,
that would be,
yes.
that would go to the planning board and the building
Yes.
department, and you know, what we're here for is
100%.
whether or not you should be getting a variance for an undersized lot. Okay, so the other thing we had, yes,
Sorry, I may have some comments, but it may be based on what the environmental commission report is, so can I ask to speak after they've provided their input?
sure,
Great, thank you.
yes. And
Yeah,
you of course can too. If you want to come up while they're doing their presentation, if you want to, whatever you're comfortable doing.
Oh.
And this is, could you please, you guys want to come up?
Is there a presentation?
This is the Woodstock Environmental Commission. We had asked them to go to the
Yes,
property,
yes.
and I think your representative was there,
Exactly.
and maybe you were there,
Yes.
a neighbor. And they prepared a report, which should have been sent to you.
It was not sent to me.
Where did you get it? You didn't get the Environmental Commission report?
I have a copy.
Yeah, it was emailed to us.
I thought I sent it to you.
I have
Okay,
copies of it.
all right, so we can provide you
Yeah.
with
You
the
can have this.
copy. Okay, here.
I mean, I was told that I would get it. for
Yes,
the
okay,
meeting,
well, it's
so-
not too late. Here's a copy for you. And then just, I'm just gonna say now, this hearing is gonna be continued because we're still waiting to hear from the Ulster,
In
From
DEC.
the
yeah.
DEC and the
Yeah.
planning board. The planning board did not have an earlier meeting. They're meeting next week. So we will open it up, but probably just for those reports. So,
The planning board meeting, the Woodstock planning?
the Woodstock Planning Board meeting, they're meeting next Thursday. And we were required to send everything to them for their opinion, which is not binding, but just to hear what they have to say.
And
So lots of people get to weigh in.
do we get to go to that meeting?
You can go to that meeting if you want. I guess it's not a public hearing, so I don't know that you'll get to speak.
But we can be at the
But you
meeting.
can certainly be there. You can call Melissa, the secretary, and ask her. But she did say she would have it on the agenda for next week. Okay,
No, thank you.
so do you guys want to come up, and do you want to tell us, or you want to?
Okay, so
Mr.
questions
Nelson,
are-
do you want to be, are you okay back there? Do you want to come up so you can hear, see? All right, can you just, just tell us your names and let's go through it real quickly.
Joe Waters,
Okay, Joe? And.
Laurie Kirby, and
Thank you.
we're both on the Woodstock Environmental Commission,
Okay,
and we were deputed to make a site visit after concern from the public,
Right.
from you.
right,
I should say we weren't at the previous hearing or not party to any discussion. It's clear to me now that many of the issues we raised have already been, you guys have already discussed in much more detail.
Right,
But
Right.
but this is our more independent report, if you like.
good, that's good. Well, we had asked for an advisory opinion
Yeah.
from you guys, because that's your specialty. Okay,
So, first issue is housing sites or possible building sites. There are.
Yes.
Okay. There are various constraints limiting the area that could actually be practically built for suitable housing sites anywhere near any of the boundaries of the property. The road boundary features a rock face and a steep slope.
right,
And the north side of the property goes to a fairly narrow corner. On the northeast side of the property, right, there's the Fontine or Fountain Hill stream, so that's roughly along
that's where the stream
near to
is.
this
Okay,
boundary, and it's in a 10 to 15 foot gorge.
okay,
A very beautiful place, but it's drops down, and then at the top of the gorge there's another quite a steep slope terrain after that for a while. So
on which side of the gorge? Just like this.
on the property side.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I think the Fountain Kill runs right along the property line,
okay,
and then it goes away from the property line as you go south.
okay,
Yeah. So much of this terrain is also steep.
Yeah, right.
okay. Was this walkable? Was it dense? Was it, I'm
It
just
was,
curious.
it was walkable.
It was walkable, because I was just like.
It
well,
was
Except maybe down in here where there's some steep rock.
Gotcha,
yeah,
right,
it's,
right, yeah, a little scramble,
there's not many large trees. It's second growth
right,
woodland.
Right.
okay.
Sure.
Yeah, pull up a chair so you can hear and you can see and.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The northwest side of the property line runs along an old stone wall.
Mhm.
That could be an issue if it's very old. I'm not sure.
I don't know if we have any protections for stone walls in the town
Well,
code.
Yeah.
We just thought we'd put it in there because
Yeah.
I've heard of stone structures, quarry roads, stone walls, if they're, Native American,
Oh,
Bill,
goodness, well,
it could be something that gets considered.
gotcha, okay. Okay,
Okay. Next, we found clear evidence near about here,
mhm,
near the north point of the property of a vernal pond.
okay,
Of diameter 15 to 20 feet, we said, yeah. And there is a requirement for a small vernal pond of 50 feet setback. So,
are you aware of this? I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, just, okay, go ahead.
this is a minor point, but the Woodstock wetlands map, the natural resource inventory map, shows a small wetland area on the neighboring property, but whose required setback doesn't hinge. It's only a matter of feet,
Right,
but basically that
This is what's shown on this map, correct?
yes, it's shown on the
It's
small
this
map.
So this is the very, very little, very
Yes,
small.
it's a minor thing.
Well,
that-
yeah, I did look on the
corner
county and I
property,
didn't see anything on your property, but there's a little bit of a setback. I
Yeah, I
see,
mean,
okay,
basically the terrain is this kind of rough, glacial till, whatever it is. So
mhm,
there's wetlands, there's pools, there's something in between, or not quite either. It's all
Right.
kind of a little watery.
okay,
Right, wetlands and several neighbouring properties. And as has been discussed, a rock face down to Glasgow Turnpike,
right,
which is high at the east end, and then the road, well, it's the road which climbs up to the western corner.
mhm,
So the only feasible driveway access was right near the western corner.
Mhm.
I did just, I left some photographs that actually show all of the face of the property, so if you want to observe, they were in the pretty photographs that I left last time.
Okay,
So what they're describing.
Are they in the file?
Yes, it's
Okay.
here somewhere. So
Okay,
if they
thank
wanna
you.
take a
Yep.
look at it.
okay, thank you.
So the access road would have to come in here. We're not calling it a driveway, we're calling it an access road because it's going to two properties.
Right, right, it's proposed, yes.
Right, so all around the edges, there's constraints on building this neighboring. So some area, kind of roughly the central core here, or more down here,
Right.
is the only buildable area.
We're not sure how wide this is, but the
Mhm.
fountain kill is on the border of the property and there's a 100-foot setback.
Mhm.
I don't know if anything can be done in here.
We do show all the setbacks on the drawing,
Mhm.
that you're referring to, and I don't know that we demarcated the stone walls over here somewhere. It's literally sitting right on the edge of the property, so there's a pretty, there's a setback, obviously there's the driveway here, so, but there's a setback from where the stone wall is. It's quite an attractive wall, we would certainly want to keep
Yeah,
it, you know.
yeah,
it's
so nobody's
nice.
moving stone too
No,
much
no,
anymore.
no, no,
are
no,
they?
well, I mean, well, I think it's gorgeous, it's
Yeah,
gorgeous,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we want to maintain it, it is on the edge of the property,
Gotcha.
over this
Okay.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are required setbacks for pretty much all of these conditions that have been, that you're mentioning.
Okay,
Right, if that vernal pond we saw comes into play, that would definitely
Yeah,
interfere with
it's
this.
very small,
site.
but
So we were,
it's a 50-foot setback.
right.
so we were seeing maybe, but so we were seeing more of a squash between the two houses. Probably.
See, okay.
Yeah.
You are going to have the DEC come visit as well?
Well, they're gonna do their initial analysis, and I think that they only come out if they determine that there's a need to do so.
I see, so you
That's-
contacted
that's-
them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's in process.
You
So,
haven't heard back yet?
I
Okay,
mean, you know, they have a timeline, so.
I'm sure they've got a calendar.
I would
yeah.
have loved to have heard back from them by now, so we'd be a
Right.
little bit more actionable, but as soon as I have
Okay,
a response, yes.
okay.
So
I'll
I
provide that
see
information.
septic field, backup septic field. Does that mean it's a raised septic?
I mean, these are on this drawing, they're proposed, we have a civil engineer that's working on this at the moment, so, you know, there's study work that's in process, you know, the houses are not completely designed at this
Right,
point, you know,
right.
so we don't have all, but that part is actually in process at the moment. to study
My
exactly
understanding
how
on
to
the
do it.
raised septic, it has to be from 1,500 to 3,500 square feet.
I mean, there are different solutions for septic, and, you know, I don't want to comment on a civil engineer's experience. I'm not a civil engineer.
And there's a
so
buffer.
there are requirements for the different types of septic systems.
And
it's
the
a
buffer,
different-
would have to be 20 to
Okay,
50
so
feet.
you don't have to answer these questions if
Oh,
you
okay,
don't want to.
okay.
You're supposed to be presenting to
Okay,
us.
sorry.
And, you know, we don't need to put you on
We
the
haven't
spot
done
like
this
that.
before.
No, I wouldn't, you've done it for the planning board, I think, but maybe not this iteration of the WEC.
No,
Okay, so, all right, so, so your concerns are the fountain fill
Well, first,
and.
the relatively limited buildable area.
Mhm.
Also, in that area, we found much evidence that the bedrock is shallow and often exposed, in fact. and the-
Right, which like
Comments.
most of Woodstock.
Yes.
right.
Yeah, we all have that problem.
So, next item, we talked about the septic systems, but
Mhm.
we've touched on that,
Right,
I guess. Especially if a raised septic is required, that increases the area required for the septic field.
gotcha.
But again, that's a
Right.
subject to the experts to.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and, you know, engineering for those things has advanced so. Yes.
The next item we looked at was the access road, which we've also already
Mhm.
discussed a bit, and you mentioned earlier the report about this
from the
There's
fire.
a bus goes a steep hill up here, and then there's a blind curve. And it's not clear how you could maneuver. Yeah. Again, it just wasn't clear to us that a driver would be even feasible, given all the constraints from the county highway department as well.
Okay.
Water table, right. So public had expressed some concern about the water table, and some neighbours had experienced drying up wells or wells gone brown. And where I live is very similar terrain, and we've had our water suddenly turn brown after a new house. So
Yeah.
I feel that.
I mean, a lot of this stuff is not related to the environment that you're supposed to be commenting on. I mean, I understand you may not like the driveway or the stone wall, but I think what we want to hear from you are more in line with the vernal pool or endangered species or so.
Okay,
If you can focus on that, that would be great.
so I'm not an expert when it comes to raised septic, only what I've researched. The raised septic, there has to be a primary and a secondary. 1,500 square feet, 3,500 square feet. In addition to that, you have to have setback, and setback could be 20 feet to 50 feet. Okay, 50 feet if you have maples, willows, poplars, and I believe elm. So all of that has to be treeless. So you can do your calculation and figure out how many acres would have to be treeless just for these raised septic, and it's significant. So,
And I don't mean this as a stupid question.
Go ahead.
It may come across as stupid, but what is the issue with, what's the environmental issue with removing the trees? Other than it's, people like to look at trees, is there
it's a little
something?
bit, it's a little bit more involved than that.
Okay, so is there some damage to
Well, the trees,
the wildlife?
the trees
flora? Can you talk about that?
produce oxygen.
Yes.
They absorb CO2. That has a direct effect on the environment. They also mitigate flooding. And those are the things that come to mind.
They preserve soils and build up soils. They provide habitat.
Wildlife habitat.
Wildlife habitat. We did see bear
So
scat.
that's important. That's what I want to hear about.
That's why I'm talking.
That's why I'm prompting you to talk to us.
Okay, I'm glad you did.
We saw bear scat, and the neighbor reported seeing a variety of animals, including fishes.
Right.
In terms of the septic, it's usually determined by how many bedrooms, the size of the septic and all of that. So that, how many bedrooms determines how big a septic is.
Yes.
So, yeah, we don't know the details about all of that, but it's certainly something to keep in mind in terms of how much space, buildable area there actually is. Okay. It covers it, or you have a little bit more?
Joe?
I don't know.
Wait one sec. Are there like particular species of plants or wildlife or
There's a
insects
variety.
or birds? Or
There's a
things?
variety of trees. We were only there briefly.
Sure.
So someone who's, I can think of some people that are very familiar with wildlife in the area that would be, they could answer the question better, what's there.
Right.
I've lived in Woodstock for 12 years. It takes a while for you to appreciate the wildlife that's in an area. I'm sure you have snakes. If you have vernal ponds, you have all sorts of amphibians, and all the way up the food chain.
Right, so some things are protected, like if there was a rattlesnake snake den, that's protected. If there's certain things, the ponds are protected, the stream is protected. So those are the things that we have to look at. I mean, we all have wildlife on our properties, most of us.
Right.
Not all of it is protected. Right. Okay. Anybody, is that pretty much it?
Covered all.
Yeah.
Things,
Okay, well, thank you guys for
And I
making.
did read your report, I think, it was emailed to us, I did read
It
it.
did, I know, Michelle said she
No,
didn't.
I just checked, it went to my spam.
You know, I
It's been
got
happening.
something in my spam today too. and
That's
it's
why this is
somebody-
the first time I'm seeing this document, so I
You would have sent
apologize.
it to me.
I would have sent it to you
It's a-
immediately, and that's why I just handed it out to the, I never saw it, this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay.
Could you send me or us the agendas, include us on the email list for
Sure,
agendas?
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, you know, we've had this, I had something with somebody who I correspond with regularly that ended up in my spam folder. I don't understand why that happens. So, sorry.
It's happening more regularly.
Well, we don't have a
Today
great,
also.
honestly, our
that,
program is not that clever. Okay, so thank you guys for making the visit.
Yeah,
Thank you
that
for
was
your
helpful.
report.
Thank
It's very helpful to know, and thank you for showing me on the map where everything is, and we may take a visit ourselves, but thank you for doing this.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, very much appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I would contact them.
That's fine. The stream is quite lovely. It's nice. If you go to the north end of the property, because it does drop down.
That's nice. Okay, so if anybody from the public has anything further that's new that they want to offer? Yes? Oh, your name again, please, just.
My name is Adina Sher.
Yes, thank you.
And so the question of other protected species.
Yes.
there. So my property is on that edge of that property, and I researched this, so I know they're protected. There's protections regarding bluebird nests.
Oh, interesting.
And since we moved in, from the day we moved in and discovered we had bluebirds nesting, we've been there 5 years, we've had bluebirds nesting over the course of the whole year.
Mhm.
Oddly enough, I thought they didn't nest in the winter, but they actually stay around. And we have 2 active bluebird nests that are there, and I don't know about the protections fully. I didn't do as much research about hummingbirds, but I believe hummingbird nests are also protected. They're much harder to find because they're so small.
Yeah.
And there are hummingbirds that are returned every year, as I'm sure you probably have in your.
I do. I try to attract them.
Yes, so I just wanted that, that's not something that might have been observable
Right.
to see. We sit there and watch the birds. I have recorded, I have an app that you can catch the recording of bird song and see what birds are there. Over 4 dozen different species of birds
Oh, nice.
right there.
Yeah.
So cutting down that much of the forest would definitely impact on not only the birds, but also there are fishers and bears and deer and lots of frogs and lots of snakes, which come into our basement sometimes, and
Yes,
and rabbits and woodchucks, and
Yeah.
it goes on.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it. Okay.
With respect to bluebird nests, are there any setback requirements?
There are actually, but when I researched it,
Interesting.
there are some
Never-
setback
never knew
requirements for bluebirds.
That would be something for us to look into. I had no idea. Okay, all right, guys, something new, something.
I think, did you want to say anything?
I don't have
Okay.
any, I mean, was there anything from this that you like, you have any questions on that?
Well, since you just got it, maybe
Yeah,
if you want to respond to it in some way,
right, you could always send us an email.
send a letter.
Okay,
We'll
I
come
mean,
to
I
the
would
next
like
hearing.
to, yes,
Sure, digest
Yeah.
it.
see the
You might want
DEC
to
report
see what the
also,
DEC says and see if they
Right,
identify
right.
that
because I
vertical.
know they. review
Hopefully
maps.
they will come and, yes, that would be helpful.
Well, I think they come only if they feel like they need to, that's my understanding.
Right,
So if they review the maps and they don't find anything then they issue a report. So we'll have to wait and see
Okay,
what the conclusion is.
I understand.
I think that's their process, so.
okay, we just have to wait.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
I would like to have a further discussion about the well. Is this the proper forum for that?
no,
well,
that would be the
it's up there.
planning board.
Even if it was the fact that having 2 more wells in an area that is already has wells that go dry.
Well, you know, I mean, if you have evidence, like if you have a hydrologist or something like that who could address it, but just anecdotally, I don't know that that's something that we can.
Well, I mean, it's not anecdotal, given
It's
we
not-
have had our wells go dry.
I understand, but you're telling us, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? That was-
Yeah, and we actually did have a hydrologist, so
Look
we
at your
did.
situation. There's so many variables when it comes to wells. You know, I don't know that, you know, at this point, we would be getting an expert to come in and look at that. That seems like that might be a little beyond our scope, but we can certainly
Well, I
inquire.
guess it's in the consideration of two houses on a small parcel.
Yes,
and-
yes, it is in a way, but you know, there's a lot of, there are variables. You know, how deep your well is, how deep this well would be. I mean, there's a lot of variables about the water table and all that kind of stuff that I don't know. Without a hydrologist is something that we could really look at, but anyway, we'll find out.
I would like to make a comment relative to the zoning.
Okay,
And that pertains to the well.
Okay.
My understanding is that generally when a parcel is being requested for a subdivision,
mm-hmm,
a small subdivision, there is normally an existing home on a larger parcel.
Mhm.
And then the request is for a subdivision to add a second home.
mm-hmm,
And in this particular case, we're asking for a subdivision where there's no existing homes on the property. So to the point about the 2 wells being added,
right,
normally you would have the experience of the 1 well and it's the increment of the second.
right.
And given the fact that the wells have been going dry in that area in certain periods, I think it's particularly important to be under.
Okay, so
zoning
this
board
is what I would like to
consideration.
ask from you. If you've had an experience where your well has gone dry, if you could send an email to us stating when and for how long, or how many times, and then we have it in our record, that would be more helpful than you
Sure.
just saying that at some point, yeah. If it's recent, if it's, you know, whatever, but if you could send us something, that would be more helpful to us than you just saying, my word.
Perfect.
Okay? All right, good. Okay, last, please.
One more quick-
Okay.
It's just something
He
I wanna-
has to speak
First-
before.
Yeah, first of all, I don't wanna, you know, I love having people around me and new neighbors, so I'm just trying to put all this together. And if there's a raised septic, you know, next to that stream, I believe that stream flows down, I'm downstream, it's on my property also, to the sawmill. And that sawmill goes down to, it's the water supply.
Okay, you're supposed to
To
talk to
Kingston.
us, not to him.
Okay,
Yeah.
to Kingston.
Okay, so let me
This
just
is-
let me just interject here.
Yeah.
You know, the county health department has standards, and things have changed a lot. I know because one of my children was looking into this with those kinds of systems. They're engineered a lot more differently now than they used to be. And the idea is, yes, you do not want effluent or whatever you want to call it going into a stream or somebody else's property. So they have to be engineered, and the county oversees that. So I don't think they would allow something substandard to go there.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just wanted
even
to
if
make
it's one house,
Right.
whatever it is.
So that they're gonna have to have like always, you know, we have, well, actually not as many power outages as we used to. But the thing is that if there's a power outage and the septic ends up with no electricity, so that these houses are gonna have to have electric back, you know, generators.
Interesting
This is
question.
part of, no, but seriously.
Yeah, no, I understand, this, you're right, this could be an issue, okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay,
I'll
last,
try to be brief.
please do.
I will. I was gonna thank the gentleman, they scurried off, but, their report, I just want to point to the fact that their report, is very consistent with the issues that we raised in our letter to you guys,
Yes.
from May 2nd, so I was gratified by that. Number two, a data point for you, based on the sketch plan, I did some measurements on down the road for driveway, and there is about 100 feet of sight line, which is about 2.5 seconds if someone's going the speed limit of 40.
Right.
Understand that's not your purview, but as a data point, it's interesting
No,
to know.
it's good for us to know.
And number three is a point that I feel strongly that I want to make about the last meeting. Mr. Cantor spoke during the community section. Mr. Cantor is a part of the team. And I don't believe it was appropriate for him to be representing that point of view. I don't think he could wear both hats if he's a representative of the development team.
Okay,
So,
point taken, we understand.
thank you.
Okay, we understand. Yes. That doesn't always, I think
It
everybody.
doesn't mean he can't speak.
Right.
He disclosed the fact that he was part of this. But
Right,
in assessing his credibility as a presenter, we're certainly allowed to take into consideration that he may have a financial interest in this. But it doesn't mean he can't speak. It just goes to the weight of his statement
right.
and bias and credibility,
No.
which you've made clear, was made clear last time, I think, and I appreciate you making it clear again.
Right, I did hear you say that. Okay, all right, so does anybody from the board have any more questions?
I move to adjourn.
Well. She's waiting for the.
Not her, she came with a dog. Look at whatever they want. okay?
I think the dog should be a pet. Good, that dog is fit. I think the doggy gets another treat. Okay, so, I move that we recess the public hearing for case 2605 to the call of the chair, because we are waiting for other reports. Second, please. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll just wait till we hear from everybody, and then we'll schedule another hearing and move ahead.
Thank you for coming again.
Public hearing.
Yeah, we kind of have to do that. Yes. We don't have to take it, we can be very explicit and say we're not taking any more comment unless it's something new. Because I don't, and people can certainly feel welcome. You can always email us, send us written comments, we take all that in, and that goes for you too.
I'm just trying to understand the process.
Yes, yes.
And I promise I'll start checking my spam every single
Oh,
day.
Yeah.
Along those lines, are we allowed to attend the
Of course.
non-public planning board
Absolutely.
meeting that you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's
You know,
an
you
open
can,
meeting.
it's an open meeting, you can call the planning board office.
Yeah.
And you can ask what the procedure is and if you will have an opportunity to speak. You can call her and ask her, I don't know what their process is,
Okay.
but I don't think it's
But
a
they don't
public
send
hearing.
out a notice the way you send out a notice.
No, I don't think so. You know what you could do is you could ask her if you could send written comments, or you can ask her if there's an opportunity for you to weigh in. I don't really know how their office operates, but there's certainly, you can call them and ask.
Who's the chair?
It's Peter Cross.
Peter.
Yeah, yeah. And Melissa Gray is their secretary clerk. So you can call their office. I think it's extension 16. I think. I think it is. Anyway,
Wonderful.
okay, so we are
Moved on.
moving on, but thank you all for coming, and thank you very much for making it through.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, well, you didn't want to be anywhere.
I'm glad you're feeling better. You seem like you're doing okay now.
I'm upright. It's always good.
That's good.
That's really interesting.
Thank you all. also
Okay.
very much.
Okay.
So you don't need me further at this point?
No, we're gonna move on to our rest of our agenda.
Okay, so I can,
You are released. Thank you.
Obviously.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
Any questions that come up? I'm happy to-
Thank
Don't, the one thing, if I could ask, that there was a question that
I
came up
remember
the
when
last
they-
meeting about the job, right, about, because we're proposing two smaller homes as opposed to what would be what would have the opportunity to build what we just built one home. So the question came up, can there be a limitation on what we build? And I talked to my attorney, and that would be done through deed restriction. And that's absolutely possible to do. So I don't know if that's something that, did you recall that from watching the YouTube video?
You know what, yeah, I'm just gonna continue to complain about the sound, but, yeah,
I didn't watch.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense as a,
Yeah, but you should have your attorney contact.
yes, he has reached out to John
To John,
twice, and
speak
I
to
don't
him.
think he's heard back yet. So I'm.
Okay.
John told me he tried to call him and didn't reach him.
Oh, okay. So there's a way to,
There's a conversation.
yeah, and there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can.
And the public hearing is closed, and we really shouldn't talk about this anymore.
Okay, sorry.
Which is why we decided to stay, since it was still being
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
yeah,
You're not in trouble.
all right, so
That's my fault, I'll take the blame.
Okay, we have, decisions and orders and interpretations outstanding, so I'm gonna skip ahead to this one so we can vote on it and you can go home. So move to open ZBA case 2608. Patricia Village, second please. Okay, so I have a resolution in front of us. I'm going to read the resolution. Based upon the standards for consideration of area variances and conditional upon compliance with stated representations, area variances from the zoning law of the town of Woodstock, Article 4, area and bulk regulations, modification of required yards, section 260-28B3C, for a 30-foot infringement into a required 50-foot rear yard setback in order to construct a detached deck, sauna, and swim spa is hereby granted, subject to all the requirements of the zoning law of the town of Woodstock, the New York State Real Property Law, and all other applicable laws, codes, and regulations. The vote was announced as follows. Judith Salato, aye. Joseph Bellick. Martin Mills is absent. Greg Goodrow.
Aye.
And Howard has no vote, so the resolution was adopted by a vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent, and nobody abstaining. And yay, tomorrow, Michelle, you can.
So the process is, I have to give this now to our town clerk, she's gonna sign it tomorrow, I will email it to you, so you have that in your possession. And at the same time, I'm gonna send a hard copy to the building department and email to them as well. You just have to contact them, I would probably say tomorrow afternoon-ish, or Monday. So.
She
you can get-
has somebody scheduled for.
Not for tomorrow, Saturday, I could postpone it till Monday, but if need be, but, I did speak to the building department, and he said I already have a permit, because there was a permit issued, and then, so he doesn't have to and I already paid, and
Okay,
so
then
he
you're good
said,
to go, then
he
you.
said as long as when I have the eyes, that we're good to go.
Okay,
You're good
perfect,
to
well
go.
then, all of you are gonna receive it at the same time tomorrow morning when I get here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye, Mary. Bye.
All right, let's just run through this really quickly. I'm not gonna open, tell you to open. I moved to close ZBA case, 2608. Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay. Should I just run through these really quickly?
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't need to vote on.
No, okay, 2501, we still, Mr. Vinci, we still have heard nothing. 2501, that's a long time ago. 2601, Ms.
Nothing.
Nardi, still nothing. I suppose at some point I should have a conversation with the building department. 2607, I think we can probably move ahead on that if Mr. Harris is interested in writing that decision.
I'm in the middle of this thing in another couple of days, the election.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so if I can get a couple of, like a week.
well, we're not in a rush,
all
we
right,
have plenty of time.
yeah, I'll play.
We have plenty of time, and
yeah.
we also, okay, so then 2609, I actually would like to open that one for discussion, please. Second. Okay, this was the one with the fence, and I have not had a chance to go out there, but we had asked for some further information, which we have not gotten. So I'm not exactly sure how to proceed on that.
I'll check this spam, but.
You can check your spam, please do, yes.
And who are we, because I wasn't here, who are we expecting information from?
Mr. Wallace, right? Yes.
He was a representative?
He was a representative, and you see if you got anything from him. It was an interesting case. There was some discrepancies that I didn't even understand. I mean, what they were asking for and what the variance was requesting is written, we're not necessarily in agreement. I'm just gonna put it right out there and just say I have a hard time accepting the idea of an 8-foot fence without a really, really good reason, and so that's where I stand at this point. I'm having a hard time with that. So that's just my opinion. We can discuss it further. I don't know how anybody else feels. Anybody else have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's a right of way. I don't remember actually. I think it's a driveway. It's actually his property.
It is his property, but I went in and I looked at the fence law, and they can't have it in the middle of the right of way or the driveway or anything. There has to be a 5-foot setback. I would like to get up there, but I just don't see the need for 8 feet. That there's some exception that's required here.
When you say, why can't you put a fence on a driveway? I mean, where's that 5 feet? I thought it was only a front yard, that you had to have that front.
I believe when I looked at it, and I can send it to you, but it said that,
As
you
you
can't have a
do.
fence, you have to have a little bit of 5 feet.
Okay.
Why 8 feet? Was there a reason why it was 8 feet? Is there?
He didn't
is
seem
this
to
for
be-
6
It
foot?
could have been 6.
Yeah, I think he could have gone with 6. A little piece of it was a front yard, and I don't,
But it's not for deer because it's not
no, it's
closed.
not
No.
enclosed.
Yeah.
The variance had asked for, enclosing a residence, which it's not. The variance had said for materials that they're not using. The whole thing is rather confusing, but I personally don't see that this is something that rises to the standards for variance. My personal opinion. I think that they can work around what the law allows and still get the result that they're looking for.
Especially since it's an open fence.
Right.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, I don't know, you guys, I don't know how you feel about it. Should we work on writing this up? Does anybody want to give it any further thought?
Do you want me to contact him first and see if he's gonna submit anything? No?
I asked him to submit contact information and the length of the fence, which I think he said is 900 feet, something like that. And then the materials that he was using, because in Butch's referral, it mentioned like temporary fencing, like deer, like that plastic deer fencing, which is not what they're using. So the whole thing is kind of a little odd. Is it here? No?
Is it Bloomberg?
It is,
Schmidt.
Schmidt and Johnson. But I don't know that you need to go get it. Does anybody have anything to shoot in the head? Do you guys have a good feeling that this is something we should be granting?
No.
No. we should just let it
Okay, so then I think we should just let it up. Okay, I'll work on that for the next.
Great.
And, and the other thing is that we, will decide, are you comfortable if we do not have the information that we need by the next meeting and there are no new applications, with me just going ahead and canceling the meeting? Is this something everybody needs to be present for?
What?
If for the next meeting, we don't have the information that we need for Mr. Yasin, and if we have no new applications,
Yeah, we should cancel.
I can just go ahead and cancel and notify you. Nobody needs to, we don't need to vote on this.
Are we still in the time frame for Cooper?
I mean, listen, given the fact that she had 2 years to do it, I'm not really worried.
But
I think we are actually.
May 6th.
So we got June 6th, July 6th. Yeah, so we would still have, we'd be close enough for our first meeting in July. Let's do it. Daisy, let's do another meeting at the end of June.
Oh, correct.
We have another meeting.
And there can always be a special meeting.
We could also have a special meeting to vote on it. Okay, so I think that is it, guys.
Great.
Maybe we close the discussion.
Yes, move to close 2609 Main Street and Steve Johnson. Second, please.
Second.
Okay.
Aye.
All right. And
Anybody
move-
have anything else?
Yeah, I want my copy of that WEC report that I gave away that she neglected to give me back.
It's
in
not colored,
return.
sorry.
No, I want,
I have a question, procedural question.
Yeah,
How long are we waiting on Vinci after he's not giving anything? Is there something that says when we haven't received information, or it's just no
I think we
indication that we
would,
drop it, or?
we would consult with our attorneys again. I mean, I did send them a letter and we, you know, and they assured us that they would, I think that was in February. So I guess we would consult with, John and Kim and see what do we do next? We send another letter or how do we proceed?
Heads.
That's why she moved it out from in front.
That's right.
Tempted.
I made a big mess one time.
It's like putting this-
There was a violation and there was some question about that and there was, but I don't know where anything stands, so I guess we could consult with John and Kim on
That's
All
it.
right,
it. Okay,
great.
move to adjourn.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you guys for